Media marketing. Right, so the first question I would like to ask you, and please do feel free to share, I'm not going to go around the room like we did at the beginning of the day, but the first thing I would like to ask is, what is social media to you? To you and or to your business?
Communication.
Communication, yeah? Marketing? Yeah?
Being nosy.
Absolutely. We're like a good creep every now and again, see what other people are up to. What else is social media about?
Brand awareness.
Yeah?
It's not making friends, but making associations.
Yes, absolutely. It's
You have a
connections.
meal with somebody and they learn to trust you.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a great way of making a connection. Excellent.
Updating.
Updating. Yeah, absolutely.
Publicising events or...
Yeah, it's great for events and that sort of thing. So really what we're kind of skirting around it is communication. Yeah, it's a communications tool. It is a way of contacting potential customers and actual customers and informing them. But it is also a great way for your customers to contact you. Okay? And I think that's something that lots of businesses forget, is they push all this stuff out, about us, this is about us, this is what we do, and this is our offer, blah, 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 rather than saying, have you got any questions that you'd like to ask us? Is there anything that we can help you with? Inviting people to communicate with them rather than just ramming something in their face until they buy it. Okay? So going back to our personas and what we were talking about, and in particular this bit, and we've touched on it already throughout the day, is understanding somebody's digital profile, where they live online, and in particular, where they spend their time on social media. Okay? So we've already spoken about, if your audience isn't on Facebook, don't bother being on Facebook. Maybe have a presence for brand awareness, but don't invest a load of time into Facebook. It could be the same for Pinterest, it could be the same for Instagram, or LinkedIn, or Twitter, or whatever. But you have to really consider these options, because social media is a time zapper. Yeah? Before you know it, we've all done it actually, we've all done it before, where we've gone onto YouTube to watch a video of a cat or something, and then 4 days later, we're still on YouTube watching so many other videos. It just kind of saps you in, doesn't it? And you just end up spending so much time. And we've all done it where you think, oh, I'll just go and do something on Twitter, and then it's like 7 o'clock in the evening, and you think, oh, what happened to the time? Yes, so be very, very focused on the platforms that you need to be on to communicate to your audience. Okay, be very focused on the times that they are on as well. Okay, like I said before, with the mumpreneur, don't bother sending her tweets and communications on Facebook at 7 o'clock in the morning, because she is not there. Yeah, and particularly with Twitter, for example, which moves so quickly, your message is buried within half an hour anyway. And God knows what Facebook algorithms are up to, because I see things on Facebook at the top of my feed that were posted 3 days ago. So God knows what happens there. I really don't. They really, in my opinion, they've got that so wrong. So you've always got to be aware of the time. Okay? So what I'm going to do, okay, just to set your expectations for this session, is I'm going to whiz you through some really nice examples of people that have used social media for various different reasons, okay? And they might not be the platforms that you use, they might not be the type of content that you necessarily want for your business, but it's the method, okay, that they have gone through to get to that end result, okay? So there's some videos, and we're going to talk about some images on Instagram, okay? And we're going to look at objectives, okay? But please, if you have any questions, something that you feel that I'm not covering in this section or anything like that, please just shout out. Okay, because I want to make sure that you get as much out of this as possible, because it just seems to be such a big topic. And I had a look at Instagram. Has anybody here got an Instagram account? Okay, does anybody here not know what Instagram is?
I don't know.
You don't know. So Instagram is owned by Facebook. It is a social media platform that is solely for images. So you go and take a picture, you put it on Instagram, they've got loads of lovely filters so you can make yourself look beautiful, or post your Christmas tree up there. This is generally what I post, cakes and dogs. It's pretty much my Instagram feed. But and it's just sort of quite a beautiful place because it's full of lovely imagery. Okay?
Just pictures?
Yes. You can make comments underneath it and stuff, but it is pictures. Okay? So I picked 3 brands, and I just picked 3 of my favourite brands and thought, right, how are these guys using Instagram? So the first one is Benefit Cosmetics. Does anybody here use Benefit? I do. I love Benefit Cosmetics. And I had a look through their Instagram feed, okay? And they're very much product-based Okay, so they're showing you new products, new mascaras, new foundations, and very, very rarely, they will occasionally encourage their users and their followers to send in a picture of their look, for argument's sake. But that's very, very rare. It is predominantly about the product. And then we're back to my good old friends at GoPro, and what they're sharing is other people's photos. Again, so they're creating this real sense of customer advocacy there. You send us some pictures, we'll put it on Instagram, and you can sell our product for us, basically. And then the third and final one was National Geographic. If you don't follow them on Instagram and you're on Instagram, I would strongly suggest it. They are fabulous. Absolutely, the images are fabulous. But National Geographic use it purely for branding. It's a brand awareness exercise for them. So there you have one platform, three users, and three very, very different objectives. Okay? So when I say use social media, what I really mean is pick the right platforms based on your audience type, and then for each platform, understand how you can utilise them best. And the only way to do that is to set yourself objectives. Okay? So if you want to use Twitter, that's fantastic, but what are you using Twitter for? Are you using it to promote your brand, i.e. sell stuff? Are you using it to educate by publishing blogs, guest blogs, external pieces? Are you using it as a way of infiltrating a new audience place by researching hashtags, which I'll talk about in a minute? Okay? If you're going to use Facebook, what are you using it for? Who are you talking to? Okay? And measure it. Da, da, da. Kardashians. Does everybody know who the Kardashians are? I've heard of them. Kim, Kris, Khloe, Kourtney, I don't know, there's loads of them. The Kardashians have utilised social media in a way that has, in my opinion, just turned things on their head. Alright? So, Kim Kardashian is the queen of social media. Okay? What she has done is incredible. So this is her Instagram. She has 60.6 million followers. This is of last week or the week before. So we're talking, she's probably got 62 million followers by now. This is her Twitter. She's got 43.5 million, and then she's got 27.5 million likes on Facebook. I mean, I didn't know there was that many people on this planet, to be perfectly honest. But what has Kim Kardashian ever done for this world? Absolutely nothing. Okay? I don't think I'm not bashing them. I think they're extremely clever, but they don't do anything of any, in my opinion, of any significance. Okay? Kim Kardashian rose to fame because she was Paris Hilton's best friend, and then she did an accidental sex tape. So she's not high on my priority. But what she did off the back of that was she created a brand, which was her. Okay? She made a brand. She had no products. She didn't sell anything. She didn't offer anything. But off the back of that, she got a TV series, clothesline, makeup, and all the rest of it. So our traditional way of setting up a business, where you come up with a product or a service, and then you create a brand, and then you take it to market. Kim Kardashian's turned that on his head. She's gone, I'm going to create a brand, take that to market, and then sell something to these people. And that is absolutely incredible, because it's just not how we do business. But what it does show is how social media can change the way that we work. Now, I'm not suggesting that we all go off and become Paris Hilton's best friend tomorrow and make a TV show, but what I am suggesting is, if you want to understand how social media works, because it is a game, and it is something that, let's be honest, let you into a trade secret, nobody really knows exactly what it is, which is why when I say somebody says, I'm a social media expert, they are lying, because nobody really knows what it is, and it can change tomorrow. Is to have a look at these guys, have a look at people like the Kardashians, and understand what it is that they're posting that people like so much. Okay, Kim Kardashian is not a charismatic woman. She's not inspiring. Okay, yes, she's very beautiful, but that's because she has stylists and people can follow her around. But she posts pictures of a swimming pool on Instagram that gets 20 million likes. Why? How have they done that? We can learn a lot from these people, is what I'm saying. Like them or not, you can learn an awful lot from them. The other thing that's very important, and that I would like to stress to you all, is is that the brand coordination between each platform is exactly the same. You land on one, you land on the other, they're the same, okay? And I would strongly urge you to do the same. Don't make your Facebook page look different to your Twitter page and looks different to your LinkedIn page, for argument's sake. Okay, people don't understand it. Keep that brand consistent so that people know exactly where they are.
So you mean the posts are always the same?
No, no, the content will change because obviously your audience is different. But keep that brand. Do you see the brand is the same? No, she does post the same things, but that's fine. We'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, keep that brand really consistent across all the platforms. Okay, hashtags. What is a hashtag? Anyone know?
It makes something searchable.
Absolutely, that's exactly it. So as soon as you put a hashtag in front of a word or a phrase, it becomes searchable. Okay? Hashtags have moved over onto various other platforms. You can use hashtags like you use them on Twitter, you can use them on Facebook, and I think now you can actually even use them on LinkedIn. I don't agree with doing either of those things. I think hashtags are for Twitter. I don't know that people really, I haven't done the legwork in the research, but I don't believe that people use hashtags widely enough on Facebook to make it valuable to have them. But I do have a couple of little bugbears. This is my first bugbear, okay, with hashtags. Has anybody seen this? Or when they go on Twitter or they go onto their Facebook page or whatever it is, and it's just all these hashtags just rammed in and it doesn't make any sense, and it's just, they just chucked it in there, and I can't bear it. It's absolutely ridiculous, okay? Put your hashtags in organically, all right? It has to read like a sentence. All of a sudden we get on social media and we just become illiterate. We just like, just put anything out there. Okay, so just really can think about what it is you're trying to say and if that hashtag is worth using. All right? And when I say worth using, the easiest way to understand whether a hashtag is worth using is to search it. Get on that platform, get on Twitter for argument's sake, stick in that hashtag and see what comes up. And that's really, really important. Like I said to you before, I work for a charity, it's the Elena Baltasar Foundation. And the MD decided to get on Twitter during Wimbledon to say how proud of Andy Murray he was. And he ended it with hashtag pride. Well, it was Gay Pride Week. And not that it was a big problem, like it wasn't the worst thing in the world, but it wasn't perhaps something that we were wanting to be associated with. But because we've got nearly 30,000 followers, if you search hashtag pride, there was the Elena Baltasar Foundation telling everybody that Andy Murray has apparently come out at Wimbledon. Brilliant! That's not what we were going for. So always research it. I had another company, they're a CAD drawing company, and they had all these different acronyms, and they put the hashtag this acronym. And I said, did you research it? And they said, no, it's only ever used in our industry. And of course it wasn't. It was to do with spring break over in the States, and there was just pictures of women in bikinis just getting hammered. I thought, this is not what you want to be associated with. So please always research your hashtags and put them in nice and organically. So there we go. Always research your hashtags, use them organically, and don't use them on platforms that they shouldn't be on. Okay? And this is going to go back to what a couple of people have touched on about you post something on Twitter and it automatically posts on Facebook, vice versa, or you post a blog and then it syndicates content out to your social media platforms. Again, this is a personal thing, so don't take it as gospel or take it how you want to, but I think that is really lazy marketing. Really lazy. If you can't reword a sentence slightly differently for Facebook than you can for Twitter, you haven't got time to do that, then perhaps you need to think about outsourcing. Yeah, I can't bear it when I see somebody's on Twitter and then I go to Facebook and it's the same message. I just think, why? You didn't even think about that, really. So I think it's really lazy marketing. Don't just shove things out through your website again, because it all goes out at the same time. And if that time isn't right for your audience, then you're not communicating that message to anybody. Okay? But social media is solely content marketing. That is what it is. In fact, I think marketing nowadays is just all about producing good content. So the first thing we've touched on already is blogs. You write a blog, a decent blog, you've got 10 tweets or 10 Facebook messages or whatever it is. Articles. You could read an article and either share that article or do a rehash of that article. You know what I was saying, 80% of that 98% of crap is regurgitated crap? Regurgitate some stuff. Make it your own, add your own opinion. Newsjacking, exactly like what you did. You saw something on the TV or something would have happened in the news, you can jump on the back of it. Okay, but please make sure that it's relevant. I'm not sure that the birth of a royal baby has got much to do with rising damp, but we might. So don't jump on things randomly. But if you can find a curve to something that you can swing back to your product or service, and that's fantastic. Yeah. So for example, we had the Scotsman, the train, didn't they? Went through. So that would have been great if you jump on the back of last week. So things like that would be great.
Just ask Louise, what is the difference between blogs and articles? Are
Okay.
they the same? Or?
No, not really. So a blog is specifically meant to be quite short. Articles don't have necessarily that. A lot of the blogs have a word limit, but 500 words max is normally a good size for a blog. Articles can be a bit longer. But I also mean, go out and run a Google search for something in your, like I do for my property investment, look at buy to let, for example, and see what comes up. And sometimes we'll rehash them, or sometimes we'll just use that content from somebody else's site. Make comments and share your opinion. Okay? Don't be afraid to do that. But make sure you've always got your business in mind. And this always opens up maybe a couple of questions as to, do I have keep my business and my personal profile separate, or do I amalgamate the two and run them as one? Always please keep them as separate. It's really, really important. For lots of different reasons, okay? Firstly, I think about long term. If in 5 or 10 years' time you decided you wanted to sell your business and your social media accounts are all tied to you, being you kind of lose that asset. One of you is going to lose that asset, the business might lose that asset, or you're going to lose that asset. And secondly, it does happen where we have been watching Chelsea play football, and we've had a few jars, and we get on Twitter, and that's a marvellous idea when you've had a couple of beers, and then all of a sudden, it's gone out through the business profile. So please keep them very separate, and just eradicate any drunkenness or any faux pas through that. But also it's very important that you keep the tone and the messaging correct for your business as well. And actually that leads me on to, I'm moaning a bit actually this afternoon, but it takes me on to the next biggest bugbear. If you're a corporate business with a corporate tone, don't get on social media about, oh hi guys, what are you up to? Like that's not who you are. Okay, just because it's social media doesn't mean that it's necessarily more relaxed. Please try and keep your tone consistent to match your brand. Okay, it's just one of those the biggest bugbears that I have, I think. People go on there, it's almost like you're not taking it seriously, but it is a serious piece of marketing, and you should always use that tone. And I finished this list with this. You can't create 10 plus messages a day out of thin air. And that's the sort of quantity that you need to be looking at, ideally, through Twitter, but depending on your objectives, but through Twitter and Facebook and various different things. Okay, so some of them can be reworded. You can take one tweet and reword it 3 times across different platforms, and that's fine. But other things will be specific to that platform. You'll be using specific hashtags on Twitter that you won't be using on Facebook. Okay, and you need to consider, where on earth am I going to get this content from? Yeah? So using these things, using blogs, setting up Google Alerts so that once a week or every day you get an email in your account that says, these are all the articles that have been launched today based on your keywords. So for example, I would set one up for digital marketing, and I get an email with all the marketing stuff, so I can go in and look and quickly digest something. Fantastic. Don't make this harder for yourself than it needs to be.
How do you set that up then?
You just go to Google and type in
Google Alert?
Yes. Yeah.
So what is it, you're setting up a Google Alert?
Yes. Google Alert. They're fantastic. Really, really good. They come through, and you can just set your preferences up, and you can add to it and remove it. The other thing that's a really good thing to do actually is set up a Google Alert for your business name. Just in case somebody else is talking about you, you'll get a little notification about that as well, so that's quite handy. But yeah, you can't just create this content out of nothing. And I think that's what happens. People start with all the best intentions, and they say, oh, I've written a couple of blogs, and I've launched this, and I've done that, and I've done my social media, and that's fantastic. And 2 weeks later, they go, I've kind of run out of momentum now, and I don't really know what to say. And then you go through that awkward stage of the odd tweet going out about, A12's bogged up today, or something, and then it just stops. So it's just this slow death of social media. But if you get into the rhythm of writing the blogs, finding the articles, then you get into the rhythm of it, and it will just become something you can go into a couple of times a week and just keep fresh. It is, again, it's a personal preference thing, but I love it. It's so easy. It's free for up to 5 accounts. And then after that, even if you pay, you get better analytics if you pay. It's only like $6 a month. Like, it's not going to break the bank. TweetDeck, TweetDeck was the big one to use when it first came out, and then I think Hootsuite have just kind of swiped this one side, but you can use TweetDeck if you like. There is a little app called Buffer, if anybody's heard of Buffer. You can download Buffer and it sits in your browser, and you just see this little icon. And every time you see an article, you see something, you just hit the buffer, you can write a note and it adds the link and it just schedules it up for you. Okay?
So that's from an app, did you say?
It's an app that you use in your browser.
Plugin.
Yes, it's like a
right,
plugin.
okay.
So Buffer's really good, but the thing that you have with Buffer is you either let it go out across all the social platforms, the same message, or you only use it for one platform. Okay, so just be aware of that. Sprout Social, that's another tool, a bit like Hootsuite, that you can use. It's a bit more in depth, and I don't think they have a free version. I think you get a 30-day trial, and after that you have to pay. But it's good. It's a nice little platform. I've spoken to you guys already about SEMrush. Yeah. So this is a tool that you can go on and look at other people's keywords, what hashtags they're following, they're engaging with. It is a professional tool, I would say. Okay, so if you're being quite serious and you've got an in-house marketing team, then SEMrush is really handy for them. But I think for everyday one-man band, it might be a bit overkill and possibly a bit expensive. Salesforce is also a CRM, customer relationship management tool, but in the back of that, it's extremely powerful, and you can use it basically for everything. It just becomes your marketing tool. You can go in there and just one place does everything.
It's very expensive.
For small packages it's fine, but as soon as you get bigger it's extremely expensive. Really, really expensive. They do have a small business package now, which is I think it's like £40 a month or something.
I've been in touch with them and they didn't even want to speak to me.
Yeah, they don't like
Nice
selling it
response.
much. They don't like selling it very much. I used to work with Salesforce at a technology marketing agency, so yeah, they do have it, but they just don't much like selling it because I think the guys don't make much commission off it. That's the long and the short of it. HubSpot, if anybody's heard of HubSpot, HubSpot is really moving into the kind of the big leagues now. We're talking about marketing automation tools. So particularly in e-commerce, we see this quite a lot, where you go onto a shop, you fill up your basket, but for whatever reason you don't check out, okay, and then you get an email to say this stuff's still waiting in your basket, it's going to expire. You buy something, you then get another email, and then based on your behaviour with the content that they're sending you, dictates the next type of content that you're going to receive from them. So you basically create workflows. Okay, I'm not going to go too deep into this because again I could fill this whole room with workflows, but it's just behaviour. So if they click on that, they're obviously interested in this, they get this content, and then it kind of moves you through this wiggly worm of content. But they're fabulous if it's required. Okay, but they are expensive. So my top tips.
Out of those platforms, which do you use?
I use Hootsuite and I use HubSpot.
Are they both free?
No. Hootsuite is, like I say, up to 5 social media accounts. It's free. Any more than that, you have to pay for it. And HubSpot is absolutely not free. HubSpot's quite expensive. So, my top tips. Always understand your audience so that you know which platforms you need to be on. Okay, and use only those platforms that they are on. Okay, don't waste your time. Like I say, it is a zapper. Just because you like going on Facebook and you know how Facebook works, that's all well and good. If your audience aren't on there, you're just wasting time. Create good content to produce the messages. If you can't get 10 tweets out of a blog, it is boring. Start again. Always research your hashtags. Please, we do not want another hashtag pride situation going on. Find your key movers and shakers and follow them. Okay, listen to what they're saying. Okay, and try and engage with them as well. So like I say, one retweet from the right person will get you a long way. Okay, always learn from people who are doing it well. You may not like the Kardashians, I'm not sure that I like them very much, but what they have done with social media, the way they have monopolised that game, is absolutely incredible. Okay, so look at what they're doing and understand how they got there, because it didn't happen by accident. Use tools to help. You cannot do this all by yourself. Please just sign up to Hootsuite or whatever tomorrow and just get it done. It's so easy to use and it will revolutionise your life. And finally, free is never free. Okay? Using social media, we can sign up to Twitter and Facebook and all the rest of it, and it doesn't cost us anything. And we can send messages and it doesn't cost us anything. But it costs your time, and your time has a value. So when you are budgeting, when you are putting together your marketing plan with your marketing budget, Budget your time, okay? Because you will be very surprised at how quickly it goes. Yeah, and always be aware that, you know, you are valuable, even if it's an internal cost. Okay? Has anyone got any questions? No?